Hello again, gang. Cruze here with yet another Algebra 2 review for you. This time again, the Chapter 9 test, which went very quickly. You may recall it was all over the arithmetic and geometric sequences and series, okay? And there were a bunch of formulas I gave to you at the beginning of the first video and in class today, okay? They're all right here. You could pause the video and just copy them down on your review here, but arithmetic is adding the same number. Geometric is multiplying by the same number. Sequences and series, right? The different formulas. If there's any unknown you don't know in a series, use the corresponding sequence formula to find it, okay? So, let's try some of these. Value of the series to the given terms. Basically, add them up. Find the series, okay? We're going to need to follow the hint here, see if they're arithmetic or geometric first. Okay, so taking a look at negative 5, minus 25, minus 45, I notice we seem to be subtracting 20 every time, right? So this is arithmetic. That might help us out here. Arithmetic. So I know the sum formula is this. N over 2 times the first term plus the last term, okay? Three unknowns here. We need n, we need a1, the first term, and we need an, the last term. Of these three pieces of information, I have n, it's 9. I have a1, a1's the first term, which is negative 5. I do not, however, know the last term. I don't know what the ninth term is in this sequence. So, if I don't know an unknown, I have to go back to the corresponding sequence formula, okay? I'm trying to find the ninth term in the sequence. I need to know what it is so I can plug it in the formula. So I take the first term, plus the common difference. Oh, we know the common difference is minus 20, right? Times n plus 1. Or minus 1, whatever, plus 1. N minus 1. Okay? So it'll be negative 5 plus, let's see, negative 20 times 8. It'll be negative 5 plus negative 160. So that means the ninth term is negative 165. You could check it if you don't believe me. Keep subtracting 20 9 times, right? You get negative 165. It'll take too long if you do that, though. Okay? So anyway, this negative 165 is an. So here we go. 9 halves is 4.5. Negative 5 plus negative 165 is negative 170. So I just take 4.5 times negative 170. And you get negative 765. Okay? There's your sum. If I were to take negative 5, minus 25, minus 45, minus 65, minus 85, minus 105, all the way down to negative 165, I would get negative 765. Okay? 2 plus 4 plus 8 plus 16 plus blah, 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 n is 10. Well, I notice here I'm adding 2, but here I'm adding 4, so it can't be arithmetic. It must be geometric. What am I multiplying by? 2 every time, right? So it's geometric, and the sum formula for geometric is a1 times 1 minus r to the n over 1 minus r. Again, you should have that written down somewhere. You will have this formula on your test. Three things again. You need the first term. You need r, what you're multiplying by every time, and you need n. We've got everything we need. a1 is 2. It's the first number. r is what you're multiplying by, which is 2 to the 10th power over 1 minus 2. On your calculator, I would do 2 to the 10th. I would go ahead and figure that out. It's 1024, okay, over negative 1. So it'd be 2 times negative 1023 over negative 1. Obviously, the negatives here are just going to cancel, but anyway, you can take 2 times negative 123 and divide by negative 1. You get positive 2046. That is your sum. If I were to take 2 plus 4 plus 8 plus 16 plus 32 plus 64 all the way up, I would get that sum. Okay? 17, let's see, negative 5 plus 25 minus 125. Doesn't seem like I'm adding the same number. In fact, I notice that it alternates between negatives and positives, so it has to be geometric. So this formula, again, a1 times 1 minus r to the n over 1 minus r. Do we have the first term? It's a1. Do we have n? Yep, it's right there. And do we have r, what we're multiplying by? Well, to get r, you can take the second term divided by the first term. And it should be the same throughout, right? Anyway, it's negative 5. So here we go. A1 is negative 5. 1 minus r is negative 5 to the 9th power over 1 minus negative 5. Now, on the bottom, it's okay to go ahead and make that plus positive. But here, we can't yet. I need to do the power first. 1 minus, what is negative 5 to the 9th? And again, make sure you put negative 5 in parentheses. You get this, if you do it right, over 6, right? Anyway, now you can go ahead and switch the signs, now that the exponent's gone. So this will be negative 5 times, let's see, what, 1953126 over 6. So take your number, multiply by negative 5, and divide by 6, and you get your sum. Negative 1,627,605, okay? Which should make sense. You keep adding and subtracting bigger and bigger numbers, right? So it should make sense. The last 3 are word problems, okay? We have saved $50. Each month you add 10 more to your savings. Write an explicit formula to model the amount you have saved after n months. Then find out how much money you've saved after 6 months, okay? So if you think about your explicit formula, you're basically figuring out how much money is in your account after 6 months, right? So it's kind of this formula. Only what's A1? Well, it's $50. What's your comma difference? What are you adding each month? You're adding $10 a month. There's your explicit formula. Boom. Okay? Now, the question is how much money you've saved after 6 months. The temptation is to want to plug in 6 for this, right? But if you think about your sequence, there's actually 7 terms. You started with 50 the first time, then you added 10 more for however many months. So after the first month, you added $10. So really, your second month, or your second term, basically n equals 2, is actually the first month. So that means we're actually going to plug in n equals 7, because it'll be the 7th term, which will be the 6th month. Okay? Now I know this seems weird, but I'm going to show you an easier way to handle this as well. You get 50 plus 60, which is $110. Okay? But let me show you an easier way to handle this without necessarily having to worry about. I understand you need to know the formula, but let's figure it out an easier way. Okay? How much have I saved after 6 months? Well, I have $10 every month, right? For 6 months. So that means in that 6 months I'm saving $60. But I already had $50, so I have to add to that. You get the 110. Okay? $10 for 6 months, that's $60 plus the 50 we had from before. Okay? A theater is set up with 20 rows of seats. 20 rows. The number of seats in a row increases by 3 with each successive row. The first row has 18 seats. What's the total number of seats in the theater? Okay, so 18 is the first number. We're adding 3 with each successive row. So that'd be 21, 24, blah, blah, blah for 20 rows. Since I'm adding the same number each time, it's arithmetic, right? So arithmetic sum, we're trying to find the total number of seats, is n over 2 times the first term plus the last term. I've got n. It's 20. I know the number in the first row. That's 18. Do I know how many are in the 20th row? Uh-oh. We have an unknown, so I have to go to my explicit formula for arithmetic. I need to know how many are in the 20th row, so I take the first, plus I'm adding 3 each row. That's what D is. N minus 1. So let's see. How many exactly are there going to be in the last row? There will be 75 in the last row. So, back over here. Now that we've got our unknown, we can figure out how many total there are. 10 times, what, 93? Which would be 930 seats. I promise you, if you sit here and actually draw out a picture, or you sit here and put 18 plus 21 plus 24 plus 27 plus 20, all the way for 20 rows, it will take you forever. again, you will not finish this test if you're sitting here doing this for every problem. You have to know how to use these formulas to help you out, okay? I cannot stress that enough. 20. In April, a family starts saving for a vacation they're planning for the end of August. The family expects the vacation to cost $1,375. They start with $125, okay? Well, already I know $125 is the first term. Each month, they're going to deposit 20% more than the previous month. How much money will they have saved after 6 months? Okay? Since you're depositing 20% more, that's geometric. Any percents are going to be geometric. Okay? So the sum formula for geometric is the first term times 1 minus r to the n over 1 minus r. We know what a1 is. R is the amount you're adding, or multiplying by each month, sorry. Since you're depositing 20% more, you take 1 plus 0.2 and you get 1.2. If it were increasing, you would add. If it were decreasing, you would subtract from 1, right? And your n is the number of months you're doing it for, which is 6. Unlike number 18, we don't have to adjust for that first month, okay? It's kind of weird you have to do that for this, or you don't have to do it for this, okay? But they're letting you know after 6 months, okay, of doing this. So we've got everything we need. A1 is 125. 1 minus r is 1.2 to the 6th power over 1 minus 1.2. So I would literally just do it all in your calculator. 1.2 to the 6th. I get this. You wouldn't have to show me all these steps tomorrow, but I feel like this will be much easier. Okay, 1 minus that answer times 125. I get this for the top. You can check your work on this. And divide by negative 0.2. You should get this. $1,241.24 now. Here's the weird part, and people are going to ask about this. Why does it tell us how much they expect the vacation to cost? This was originally a book problem. You can find it in your book. It originally asked, did they save enough? And if they didn't, how much more will they need to save? Okay, but you won't have to worry about that. So really don't even worry about how much it's going to cost. Okay, obviously they didn't save enough. Okay, but anyway, that's how much they saved in the 6 months. Okay. If you have any questions about any of these formulas, I'll put them back on the screen now. If you have any questions about any of this, you can always email me at ccruze@brownsburg.k12.in.us. You can Twitter me at Mr. Cruze Math, or you could post a comment to this video, okay? As always, you could subscribe if you want future videos and future content. But there you have it. Good luck studying, okay? Have a good one.